Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. In today's video, we're going to be going over Maesuma Top 13, which was a super major in Japan, an S tier if you want to be specific about it. For our top 16 seeds, you have Jogabu, Luminous, Showers, and T in 13th, Hito, Passeriman, 33 Parent Box, and Snow in 9th. In 7th, you have both Gak and Proto Bonham. 5th, you have Takara and Asimo. 4th, Yoshidora. 3rd, Kameme. 2nd was Doramigi, and winning the entire thing was me. So let's start off by talking about some losers runs, and we'll talk about runs that were able to get into the top 8 a little bit later on, but I want to mention Matsunabe first, who was able to win 6 sets in a row, including wins over Tsubaki, Sylph, and Umeki for a 17th place. I'm pretty sure he is the highest placing Falco of the event and should be super happy with that. That's an amazing run from him. Again, 6 sets in a row. That is a lot of work that you got to put in there. You have Jogabu as well, winning 3 sets in a row over players like Now and Riziasu for a 13th place. Now gets 25th at this tournament, which is pretty low for him. It's going to be hurting his shot of Best Mario in Japan, because Best Mario in the world, it would still go to Karama, but with Snow getting a 9th place here, it's looking tough for now. Now, he still has to have some amazing performances towards the start of the season that should be able to save him, but it's a lot closer than it was previously. You have level 1 as well, who's in contention for that Best Young Link in Japan, who won 4 sets in a row over players like Shisho, Ken, and Neo, which are some pretty insane wins to rack up, getting Ken a 25th place and Neo a 33rd place. And the final one that I want to mention is T, who was able to win 3 sets in a row, beating Takai, SSSR, as well as Raki, who was able to get wins on Ken and a 28 in the winner set of bracket. So huge shouts to Raki for that. Those are some massive upsets. And then T does end up getting 13th place after losing to Kameme's monstrous loser run, which again, we'll talk about a little bit later. So it is a low placement for T. I'm going to say that this placement is probably going to knock him out of contention for top 10 in the world. He just has too many flubs on his record now, which is a little bit unfortunate. Now, do I think T can't bounce back? No, absolutely not. Next tournament, I would expect him to be someone that could win the entire thing. He's still an incredibly talented player, but this season, it has been a little bit rough for him. Also, something that I thought was fairly interesting at this tournament is every single person that ended up getting 9th, aside from Passeriman, did it entirely through the winner's side of bracket. We'll start off with Passeriman's run. He's able to get wins over Ryuo, Showers, Gorika, and Tsubaki, and this run may give him that title of Best Fox in Japan. Him and Kananabe have been fighting tooth and nail for it, and with this performance here, maybe the thing that finally puts him over the edge, but we will still have to see, because Kananabe's season is also very good. You have 33 Parent Box as well, performing 2 weekends in a row, getting wins on Takai, Jogabu, and Showers. This is his best ever major performance, and I was very impressed by him. Again, he's not going to get that title of Best Steve in Japan because no one in the world is going to take that from Akla, but it's still an amazing run from him. He should be super happy, and I feel like his first top 8 and a major is just around the corner. You have Hito as well, who's no stranger to the top 8, just shyly misses it this time though. Still gets a win on Riziasu, but he ends up losing to Yoshidora in the winner side of bracket, and they kind of trade sets back and forth, though it is a little bit more tipped in Yoshidora's favor. It does go game 5 there, and then you have him losing to Kameme, who again, I talked about that monsters losers run earlier on. We're going to talk about it later, but he falls to that because that run is really, really ridiculous. And then finally, you have Snow, who's able to get wins on Iam, Shori, and Shiryuki. And I talked about this earlier with Now. Snow has been performing a lot as of late. All of his past performances have been really good, and with Now falling a little bit short here, there is a chance that he is able to take that title of Best Mario in Japan. Now, due to Now's performances towards the start of the season, it's still going to be really difficult to take that, but if Snow keeps playing the way he is, that's something that could happen in the near future. Even the best Mario in the world is out of the question, the way he's been improving. Like, Snow is looking insane right now. On to the top 8. Let's start with our 7th place finishers of Gak and Proto Bonham. We'll start off with Gak, who looked like it was going to be a little bit dire this tournament, as he got upset very early on by Shiryuki, but something about Maesuma makes him go crazy, because Gak recovers insanely hard in a row in the losers bracket, beating Money Right, Atorie, Karage, Luminous, and 33 Parent Box. He has been looking so good as of late, undeniably the best Nest in the world, especially after this run. The amount of wins he got, plus a top 8 in a major like this, is super strong, so Gak should be super happy with that one. And we saw the return of Proto Bonham, which I was very excited about. He was able to get wins on Sumo Suto, Ron, Karage, and Passeriman, and I think that set versus Karage is really important as well. That was a 3-0, and I would favor Proto Bonham matchup-wise there too, because Min Min destroys Falcon. But regardless, the fact that Proto Bonham, this is a new age player in Japan, and Proto Bonham was able to deal with it immediately. And now he did fall to Doramigi, who's also new age and also playing Min Min, which I don't even know how that happens. But regardless, he is still looking good. Proto Bonham clearly still can hang with the new crowd. Is also able to beat Passeriman in a game 5 to be able to make top 8. Once in the top 8, he does again fall to Kameme's loser run, because that loser run is ridiculous. But regardless, really nice showing from Proto Bonham here. We haven't seen him at a tournament since Summon in an open bracket tournament, since I can't remember how long, at least of the major caliber. So it's nice to see him performing again. In 5th place, you have our two Shoto's players of Takara and Asimo, starting off with Takara, who was able to get wins on Alice and Kome before falling to Yoshidora 3-0. In the loser side of bracket, he beats Matsunabe, Jogabu, and Snow to get into top 8. Once in the top 8, he beats Gakt in a Game 5 set, and then loses to Yoshidora again. Though this time, it was 3-1, so clearly the adaptation is there. Maybe next time it's 3-2, and then after that, he will never lose to Yoshidora again. But with this run from Takara, I would say that he is the best Ken player in the world. He's probably been that title for a little bit now, but there are a lot of good Ken players out there that are in contention for it. I think most notably, you probably have Jazo or Andres FN, but to be fair, Andres FN plays like all the fighting game characters, so I don't really know how to classify him. But regardless, I would say that Takara is the best after this run. He just feels like a really consistent threat in Japan, has a bunch of good runs under his belt, as well as getting so many amazing wins here, so shouts to Takara for that one. You have Asimo as well, who gets a 5th place with wins on Suba, Taraguri, Rocky, and Snow, and then loses to Mia 3-0 and Kameme 3-1 once in the top 8. Just another amazing performance from Asimo. It feels like he is such an amazing player. I would say somewhere in that top 15 range, because even his lower performances are like a 13th place. He's a couple 13th. Everything else is pretty much a top 8. He's just been looking absolutely insane. I also think it's funny that both Ken and Ryu get 5th place, because there is still that debate of which Shoto is the best. I think it's clearly Ken, but this isn't a Marth and Lucine situation where one character is just really, really good and the other one just kind of sucks. Both Ken and Ryu are very good characters. It's a small difference between them. Again, I still think that Ryu is a little bit better, but there are certain situations where you're going to be having Ken be the more favorable one because you do have that added mobility. But regardless, huge shouts to Asimo and Takara for getting a 5th place. They both played amazing here. In 4th place, you're going to have Yoshidora, who was able to get wins on YN, Suna, Takara, Hiro, and then Takara again, only losing to Doramigi and Kameme. And I just want to look at Yoshidora's tournaments this season, because he starts off with a 3rd at Umebura SP9, then he has a 4th place at Kagurabi 9, his only top 8 miss of the entire season, of the entire year, at Maesuma top 11, where he gets 13th. Then he has a 7th place at Maesuma top 12, 5th place at Kagurabi 10, 7th place at Battle of BC, as well as a 4th place at this tournament. His season is just ridiculous. You also have him winning Sumabato SP39 over Asimo and double eliminating Mia, so I would say that Yoshidora is very poised to be top 10 this season. He's just been looking incredible. He doesn't have lows. He has a bunch of good wins across the board, and he's the only one doing it with Yoshi. He's still the only one doing it with Yoshi. Despite him being around for a while now, no one is able to copy what he's doing. No one's able to figure out how he gets the placement that he does. And of course, other Yoshi players exist. They are getting results. They are nowhere near to the level of Yoshidora. He has been looking incredible as of late, and with this run, I think there's a very high chance he could be top 10 this season. Now let's finally talk about it. The loser's run of the tournament. It's already ended so many runs that we covered in the video, and that is going to be Kameme's run to 3rd place after losing very early on to Sil. So shouts to Sil for not only getting that upset, but also ruining the loser's bracket for so many people because they had to deal with Kameme. He starts off by getting a 3-0 win over Tamashuka, then he gets a 3-2 win versus Yoshi, then he's able to beat Tora 3-0, he beats Ron 3-2, Shirayuki 3-1, T3-2, Hiro 3-0 to get into the top 8. Once in the top 8, he 3-0s Proto Bonham, 3-1s Ashimo, and 3-0s Yoshidora before losing 3-1 to Doramigi. This loser's run is crazy. He got so many good wins along the way. I mean, obviously, but most notably, get win on T. That's a potential top 10 player. Proto Bonham, top 10 caliber. Asimo, potential top 10 player. Yoshidora, potential top 10 player. Hiro, potential top 30 player. Like, that is so many. Just ridiculous runs from him. And he's doing this with his last tournament being a 4th place at Battle of BC, where he lost to Mutes and then in a row beat Big D, Lugi, Onin, MK Leo, Gluttony, Yoshidora, and Mia. Kameme's last 2 tournaments have just been insane loser run. In case you're wondering how many people he beat in a row, he beat 10 people in a row at Maesuma top 13 in the loser side of bracket. This is an insane run for Kameme. I don't know how he did it back to back, but if he does the 3-peat, I think the world's gonna end. And though Kameme's run may have been the loser's run of the tournament, it wasn't quite the run of the tournament, as that goes to Doramigi, who is 13-year-old Min main that ended up getting 2nd place. For reference, their best performance before this was a 17th place at Maesuma top 11. It wasn't even like they got a top 8 and they slowly worked their way up to the 2nd. They went from not being a top 8 in a major to getting 2nd. Most times when people get into top 8s at majors, they bust her out immediately. It was their first time. They'll get a 7th, they'll get a 5th, it doesn't matter because the pressure gets them. Doramigi got all the way to 2nd, only losing to Mia, who won the event, and along the way was able to get wins on T, Luminous, Proto Bonham, Yoshidora, and Kameme. For reference, Kameme, a top 20 player. T, top 20 player. Proto Bonham, top 5 player in terms of skill. But right now, some are probably around that that top 20 range. Yoshidora, top 20 player. And I'm saying top 20 because I want to lowball it. A lot of these players are in contention for top 10 in the world. This is ridiculous from him. I just cannot believe it. Again, he is 13 years old. I know there's going to be a lot of people, it's like, oh, they did it with Min, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He is 13. This is unreal. He beat Proto Bonham as well, who's conceived to be the best minion in the world by far, and he beat him in the Ditto, as well as beating the Lucina. Like, it's an incredible one. I really cannot say anything else about it besides the fact that it is truly extraordinary. I want to see more of Doramigi. I hope they're able to perform at the same level, and something tells me that they will be able to, because you don't just get second at a tournament out of nowhere for no reason. You got to be some kind of goated. And winning the entire event is our first seed of Mia. And of course, he does it in a spectacular fashion because it is Mia. He wins this entire tournament while only dropping one game. He gets wins over H4, Seriman, who's the one player that took a game, so shouts to him for that. 33 parry box, Osimo, and double eliminates Doramigi. Again, if Mia wasn't here, Doramigi would have won this event, like 100%. But Mia, he is such a wall. He is such a top 5, top 3 player in this world. And the reason I say top 5 and top 3 is because the start of the season, as we all know, it's a little bit weaker. He has a 13th at Umabara SP9, 49th at Kagari B9. That's going to be the really thing that's hurting him a lot. But then it's flawless. He wins Maesuma top 11. He wins Subigeki 13. He's a second at Colin 5. He's a second at Maesuma top 12. He wins Delta 4. He's a 7th place at Kagari 10. He's a 5th place at Battle of BC. He wins Maesuma top 13. He has a 2nd place at Japan 24, which I forgot to mention. Like, Mia's results have been just insanity. Again, I think right now he's 100% top 3 in the world. You know, it's Spargo, Aquila, Mia. In the entire season, he's probably going to be floating somewhere from that 7 to 3 range, more realistically 7 to 5 range, just because that 49th is going to be hurting him a lot. But Mia is ridiculous. One of the scariest players in the world right now. Definitely the best game watch, even though Meister has been doing incredible. I mean, Mia, he just looks inevitable. And I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Sport's been absolutely unreal lately. If there is any player I left out or something that I got wrong at any point in the video, please just let me know down below. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Be sure to sub, all that yada yada. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.